In 2016, the central dormer window on the west range of Oxburgh Hall suffered a catastrophic collapse and actually fell into the courtyard. And what we thought was a simple fix at the time to reinstate the dormer window has actually grown the more we've looked into it, and it now encompasses the entirety of the roofscape, 27 chimneys, and also works to the facade of the gatehouse, which is the oldest part of the building.
Oxburgh's history has always been one of survival and endurance, and the house that you see today was built by Sir Edmund Bedingfeld in around 1482. They were favourites at the Tudor royal court, but they fell from grace after the Reformation as a consequence of their adherence to their Catholic faith. And for the next 300 years, the family and the house weathered many a storm. Heavy fines, restrictions on travel, confiscation of land and property all took their toll. Oxburgh was ransacked during the Civil War and part of it was burnt down, and during Elizabethan times we can be confident that the house would have been searched for evidence of Catholic activity. And yet the family remained true to their faith and never gave up on Oxburgh. Now it's our turn to lavish some time and attention on Oxburgh and safeguard its future for years to come.
It's an extremely complex project here. We have around 17,000 tiles to replace, beams and rafters underneath that to repair, 14 dormer windows to dismantle and reconstruct, and 27 chimneys to assess. And the reason it's so challenging is mainly because of the moat. The moat wraps around the whole building, it has a fragile clay lining. If we were to use a traditional scaffold foundation, it would likely crack that lining, and the moat would drain over time, damages the ecology and damages the house. So to overcome that problem, instead of sitting on a traditional foundation, the scaffold will sit on large marine bags of sand at the base of the moat, and the scaffold sits upon that. That helps spread the load out evenly. The scale of it is impressive. It contains over 30 miles of scaffold tubes and over 20 miles of scaffold boards.
So originally, when we thought it was a case of reinstating the dormer window, the initial estimates were around £90,000, which is a large sum in itself. But here we are 3.5 years later, one of the largest conservation projects the East of England's ever attempted at £6 million. So we've had some great support from organisations like the National Lottery Heritage Fund, the Wolfson Foundation, but also, and what a lot of people don't realise, is that our supporters and our visitors, our National Trust members, every time they come to Oxburgh, they're funding that conservation work, and they can actually see the conservation work happening. There'll be interactive exhibits and experiences. There'll be behind-the-scenes conservation tours. There's so many ways that people can get involved in volunteering and also co-collaborating with some of our local community on just what kind of experiences that they want to see and what endurance means to them.